Hi guys, welcome to my channel The Girl Next Door. So last to last video was about this, in which I tried to help most of you who have applied for AMU Ph.D entrance examinations. Ever since then I have been getting a lot of requests to make another video, or rather detailed one, on what exactly to study for the exams. So today in this video I'm going to be sharing with you that what all you need to study in order to qualify the AMU PhD written examination. So without further ado, let's get started. Before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and also hit that bell icon so whenever I upload a new video, you get notified. So now let's get started. So the paper 1 is divided into two parts. So question will come from two sections. The first is the research aptitude and the second one is logical reasoning. We will be talking about them one by one. So the topic research aptitude is very detailed and a vast one, but these are the topics that you should thoroughly know and your concepts must be very clear about them. So each topic has many subtopics that I'll be discussing in the video. So for now, you can take a screenshot of these topics, and when you sit to study, you can refer to these topics so you know that how much time and importance you have to give to each one of them. So in research aptitude, one of the most important topic is the types of research. So you should know all the types of the research, such as deductive, inductive, qualitative, quantitative, descriptive, exploratory, explanatory, experimental, fundamental, applied, structured, unstructured, conceptual, empirical, ex post facto, historical and analytical research. Apart from these, you should also know about what is ethnography, case study, and one of the most important types of research that they ask questions about is action research. So questions also come from the steps that are involved in the research process. So you should thoroughly know each step and the sequence in which the research is conducted. So there are some characteristics of a research that they usually ask about. So it is objectivity, reliability and validity. You should know what are these, and from validity they also sometimes ask the different types of validity that are there, and such as face validity, content validity, construct criteria, internal external validity. And they also ask questions such as a research is reliable or a research is valid when such and such happens. So you should thoroughly prepare for that. So the types of variables, so you should know what are variables in the first place, and the different types of variables and how to measure them. So there are some scales through which we can measure the variables, so you should study about them as well. So the next topic is hypothesis and the formation of hypothesis. So in the first place, you should be very clear about the concept of hypothesis, because it is one of the most important terms in research. So be very clear about it, study thoroughly. Another topic that you should study about is the types of data. So in research, you collect a lot of data and you should know that what are the various sources from which data is collected. So another very important topic that a lot of questions are being asked from is the types of sampling techniques. These have so many different types, and you should know, you should be very clear, it should be on your tips what are the differences, what each one of them is about. You should know all of it. So there are two types of sampling: probabilities or random samples and non-probability samples. So you should study about all of these very thoroughly. And if you ask me from which book you can study, so if you have watched the previous video, I recommended the KVS Madaan, and all of these topics are beautifully explained in that book. So I'll be providing the link in the description box so you can order it from there. Another very important topic that they ask questions from are the referencing style or the bibliography. So although there are many, but the major ones are APA and MLA, so you should know their full forms and how they are written. So for a better understanding, I am putting a screenshot over here so you can understand the nature of the questions asked. You should also be familiar with the terms that are used for footnote referencing. So I have listed them below. So another very important topic that they ask questions from are research ethics and plagiarism. So they ask a lot of questions from both of these topics, and you should know in the last year question paper they asked that what percentage of plagiarism is accepted or rejected. So you can see the last year question papers for what kind of questions they ask. I have provided the question papers in that video. So you should also know what is Shodh Ganga, Shodh Gangotri, and some government run programs such as MOOCs and SWAYAM. So now that we have covered the topic of research aptitude, we should now move on to logical reasoning. So a lot of questions come from this section. So from these topics, what you should do is you should practice at least 10 to 15 to 20 questions from each of these sections so that you can get very fluent and very confident in each topic. So for example, blood relations, directions, coding, decoding. So if you want to know the exact structure, the type of question that comes, you can always refer to the previous year's question papers, and I gave those question papers in the previous video. So they also give a series that you have to complete. It can either be of number series or alphabet series. And then they also give you patterns, and you have to find the correct pattern that match. A lot of questions come from syllogism, and they give you Venn diagrams, and of course they give you a premise. For example, all men are tables, some women are trees, so what are children? So in this section, the logical reasoning, they also ask you about some theory questions, theory from verbal and analytical reasoning. So that I'll be discussing further in the video. Also, they ask questions from maths. So a little bit of maths is involved. For that, you can refer to the previous year's question papers as to what kind of questions from the maths section they ask. And if you notice, a lot of questions they ask from shapes and figures and patterns, especially in the last year question papers. So I'll put a screenshot of the last year question paper here so you can get an idea of what types of questions they ask from the shapes, figures and patterns section. So the theory questions that they ask from this section comes from the types of reasoning. So there are many types of reasoning, and some of the important ones are inductive and deductive reasoning. So they also ask about the structure and nature of arguments, and if the argument is valid or invalid, and they also give you propositions, and they also ask about the premise and squares of opposition. All of this is very beautifully explained in the book KVS Madaan. So the link is in the description box, and I'd suggest that you buy that book because it's very nice and all your topics will be covered with just one book. Another entirely different section that they ask questions from are from reading comprehension. So a passage will be given, and on the basis of that passage you have to answer 5 questions. This section is actually very scoring, so if you practice a lot, you'll be able to get 5 marks. Another good thing in this paper is that there is no negative marking. So try to solve or mark answers to all of the questions because there is no negative marking, so there are chances that you can score high. So with this we come to the end of this video, and I made both of these videos to just help out those students who are actually preparing and want to apply for PhD examinations. So I don't think I'll be making any more videos further, but if you have any doubts you can always ask me in the comment sections. So I will try to help you in the best possible way. Or I can think making another video if it is very highly requested. But for now, I think I am done with this series. And before going, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And take care of yourself. All the very best. Study hard and I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.